The next day, Ellison, Tiago, and Gilroy went to Knapford to meet Sir Stephen Hat. They asked him about why all the Steamies and Diesels sort of say mean words to each other, and Tiago told him. They also said something about my grandfather, about a trick he has done to upset them. Oh, Sir, Sir Stephen had actually gulped, and then he rather remembered. That. I think I can explain about that, but I can only tell you what I know. This happened a long time ago, and a long time ago, your father and his cousins ran away. What? They ran away? Again? But I thought they ran away because of what our grandparents did to them. Well, this was before this one. It happened when they were kids, only they were still on Sodor, and they ran away because of something that made their parents upset. But if you want to know, you're gonna have to. This all started. It was also back when my great grandfather, Sir Topham Hatt, was controller of the railway before I became controller of the railway. It was summer, and it was hot, and the railway was beautiful. The water sparkles in the sun, and beautiful flowers blossom everywhere. It was a busy time for all the engines. They love this time of year because this is when they collect lots of vacationers and show them the sights all around the island. Like James shows them the seaside. Emily shows them the windmill, and Thomas does the best sight of all. Thomas shows them the Sodor Suspension Bridge. The bridge is one of the vacationers' favorite sights. And now, each night, as the work was done, Henry, James, Percy, Edward, and Thomas go back to their home at Tinmouth Sheds. The sheds cool their boilers and talk about their day's adventures. Tinmouth Sheds are the entrance home. They are warm and snug, and most of all, they are a cozy place to sleep. Wow, that sounds really great. And I love summer. I actually like traveling around the island. Me too. What happens next? Was it the incident? No, this was not. This was my grandfather. This is when he came to Tinmouth Sheds when he had a very important announcement to make. A new airport is to be built on Sodor, and I need you all to help. It will bring more visitors to the island than ever before. All the engines and their kids were very excited. We'll get to see airplanes and show more visitors the sights. And then what? Why are you stopping? Well, I can't say. That's all I know. But I know what you can do. If you want to know more, you should go find somebody else. They might tell you how the story continues. Okay, Sir Stephen Hat. Come on, let's go. Who should we ask? Well, it must be somebody. Hey, look, there's Mavis. Maybe she might know. The three steam engine kids went to Mavis and asked her, and she told her about the part where Ari Bert were at the airport working with Thomas and Percy, Persa, and Tam. Now, this didn't really go so well, because Thomas and Percy didn't really like it, said Mavis. Thomas and Percy were coupled to flatbeds of cars filled with bricks and timber to build the airport site. Imagine all the vacationers, chuffed Thomas. And all the airplanes, peeped Percy. But then Ari and Bert arrived. Stinky Steamy's in the way again, grumbled Harry. Why do we have to work near them? Grumbled Bert. This made Thomas and Percy cross. They didn't want to work near the Diesels either. The Diesels were oily, and they were very different from the Steamies. Hey guys, what are you doing? Oh, Mavis is telling us a story. Well, parts of the story. About what? About our parents, Sam, Steamies, and Diesels. Oh, can we listen? Well, it's not the whole story, I'm just telling you parts of it. Now, where was I? Oh, yes. Now, Thomas, Percy, Ari, and Bert worked at the airport all afternoon. Mavis continued the story with Peter, Tiago, Ellison, and Gilroy all listening to it. Now, the two Diesels really didn't like the other two little tank engines. It really bothered them when they biffed into each other. Dirty Diesels, moaned Percy. I don't like them. Your father, said Mavis to Tiago and Peter. They didn't really enjoy either father. Was getting so angry with the Diesels. The Diesels really bothered the Steamies. So they got rather tired of it, so they decided to ignore the Diesels and just kept on working. I don't think our grandfathers had any fun, said Peter. No, they didn't. But when Thomas had to collect some more building materials, he met Ari and Bert and played a trick on them. What did he do? He biffed into their trucks, and the cargo fell all over the place, and he just laughed and puffed away. That is not really funny. It isn't. But your grandfather is a very cheeky little engine. And then, and sometimes Percy is too. But that's when they played a trick on Diesel, when they had a naughty idea in their heads. Diesel had a very important job to do. As he was leaving the docks, he didn't know he wasn't pulling the building materials. He was actually pulling cargoes full of delicious, fresh yellow bananas. Thomas and Percy were having great fun. That's all I can tell you for now. You might have to ask someone else now if you want to know more. I think you should ask. You should ask maybe Toby. I saw him a few hours ago. Well, he was puffing along onto the quarry. Oh, okay. Thank you, Mavis. You're welcome. All four Stevenson kids went to find Toby. Hello, Toby. Do you know anything about what happened? About when our grandfathers, me and Tiago's, they played a trick on Diesel by giving him bananas, and we want to know where they went next. Well, I don't know. Well, I already know that they can be cheeky sometimes, said Toby, but I already know about their trick, and what happened after that. The day when they played their trick on Diesel, their next job was to go to the smelter's yard. But when they got there, they saw something that was really scary, really terrifying to them. There, and you might have remembered him before. After a long day, the 4 tank engines were puffing happily home together, along with their wives, of course, your grandmothers. But as they were heading home, they crossed the solar suspension bridge. "The bridge isn't painted," said Percy. And then they passed the airport. "The airport is nearly finished," said Thomas. But then came something horrible.
When they arrived at Tidmouth Sheds, they discovered that they had been knocked down.
"Our home," said Tam. "What happened to our shed?" said Thomas. "Building the new one was our important job," ordered Diesel, "but we were delayed, so we couldn't finish it." Then Sir Topham Hatt spoke up.
"And bananas are no good for building sheds," Sir Topham Hatt added.
The steam engines were crossed with the diesel engines. The Diesels had ruined their home. The steam engine kids were actually sad about their home, and Thomas was most upset. He knew it was his fault since he and Percy played a trick on Diesel by giving him bananas. So the engines had no choice. Sir Topham Hatt sent them to sleep somewhere else. James and his family had to stay at the dirty, dusty coaling plant.
"I'll never stay shiny in here," moaned James.
Edward and his family had to stay at the quarry. And Diesel was the engine that Edward had to share with in his shed, as his wife and Edwin and Edna had to sleep in the other shed right next to them, which was good, but Edna was worried about her father. She knew that Diesel was not an engine to be sleeping with. "Oh, Daddy," she said, as she listened to Diesel saying, "Oh, look, a stinky steamy." Henry
Henry
had
to stay at the smelter's yard. "I don't like it here," moaned Henry. "If I break down, they might scrap me by mistake."
and Gordon and Gordy had to sleep under a tent. "Oh, the indignity," groaned Gordon. Gordy had to stay in the building right next door to his father. He didn't really want to sleep outside. It was way too cold. Only little Toby and I were nice and warm in our shed. We wished we would share it, but it was too small for all of the engines. What about my family? Dad and Grandpa and Grandmother, where did they sleep? They went to stay with Emily and Emily. You see, a long time ago, Emmy and Emily had their own shed in Knapford Yard. It was way before they moved in into the sheds with them and became part of the family. Now, Emily didn't like sharing her shed. She was used to having the shed all to herself, with peace and quiet with her daughter. But Tam and Thomas and his wife had no choice. There was only enough room for them to sleep in, and that's where they stayed.